Psych! You thought I was really doing something shocking? What's wrong with you boys? Well, now that you're here, might as well check out the video. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Saglitch, aka Sag. Today I'm bringing you a little bit of an update. What's been going on? What's up with the channel? The consistency, all that great stuff. Um, so to start off with, we got a little bit of gaming. Let's just break it down into different categories, just similar to how I do like teaching. I break bigger things into smaller things. That way, it's easy to keep up with. And let's start with personal life. So as far as like my personal life going on, you guys already know. Not a whole lot goes into it. Um, we just celebrated Thanksgiving with my wife's family, so the in-laws, and my sister-in-law's getting close to her due date, so we had to go out to Orlando, and her plans kind of fell through because um, her husband's family kind of had the flu, so we were fortunate enough to be able to celebrate it with my wife and both of her sisters and her parents in their new townhouse, which is literally right down the street from my sister who's about to give birth to the first grandchild of the family. So kudos to that. Guess where I'm spending my summer. But no, in all fairness, it was a really good time. It was really awesome. Um, my wife's family is very accommodating to everyone that comes down. My wife and I, we were there on Wednesday and we stayed until Saturday. So that was 4 days there. It was a lot of fun. I actually had to get a lot of homework done, and I was feeling pretty crappy physically because you guys already know. You've seen it, a couple videos. I've already talked about it, and basically I had a problem with gout again. The physical definition of crazy is trying something constantly to get a different result with no variation. So your boy is basically crazy, and I really do need to change up my diet, which I'm starting to implement more things into now. We talked about it, and me basically being a hindrance, whether it be to myself, to my wife, to the dogs, to my family. It can't happen anymore, and so I'm I'm gonna be smart about it now. And the biggest thing for me is the red. It's basically called the King's illness, because back in the days, the Kings were the only kind of royalty who were able to eat red meat and get these kind of diseases because the meat was fatty, and they didn't really take care of themselves because you eat like royalty, you get some foods that you want, and it happens. So your boys got to be a little bit smarter than that. But that's as far as like what we did this past week. I have actually, and talking of which, instead of going Black Friday shopping, actually no one did it as far as I know. Everyone I talked to kind of stayed home, wasn't really big into it. It's kind of gone down since when I was a kid. But yeah, so it went down, and so I actually had to do some homework that was due on Friday night at 12 o'clock. So I had to stay back and actually do some stuff myself and get some work done. Again, my wife's family was nice enough to let me get that done without having any problems, and so basically, I was cooped up at the table doing homework all day, and it's my own fault. I need to take time and stop procrastinating, but it's kind of necessary for me to do because I'm actually in the process of getting my full license. Can you stop? Can you just relax for a couple minutes? I promise I'll pet you afterwards, okay? You're a good girl. I love you. But again, it's my own fault. It's something I have to do in order to get this done. It's for my license to become a teacher. It's my full certification to take these classes. And I only have like 6 more left. I'm taking 2 right now, which as of this point in time, I have an A in, and I'm working my butt off to keep that A. And this is, like I said, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to do the dream job that I've always wanted, and I'm going to do everything in that power to keep it and continue to do so. Um, as far as teaching goes at the school, also, you guys know I coached, was the assistant coach last year in the basketball, the boys basketball teams, and we had to. It sucked because our charter school has seven different campuses, 7 different locations, and we had to basically create a team in a 2-day tryout, have one practice, and go down to the local, the middle, basically the middle school of all the campuses to have a basketball tournament. And again, you guys know with a lot of practice comes like teamwork and stuff like that. And the team we were up against, these boys, we went down early. I think it was either 12-0 or 15-0, and we ended up winning 34 to 20, 28, 34-27, something like that. And the fact that these kids with one practice, 3 days together, were able to pull it together and get it done was awesome. That was the first round. That was probably one of the best games out there. And so we had like 4 hours before our next game, so we decided to all go out and get a bite to eat. The players went to a different spot. The coach went to a different spot. I went with a different spot, and we all came back together. Now, when I got back, I had a couple players that were there the whole time, and I asked them. I was like, "Hey, where's everybody at?" He's like, I haven't even seen anybody, but hey, coach, we got these 2 guys that we're about to play. They're twins. They're 6'7". So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, whatever. The dude's like, he's exaggerating a little bit. Kids do that. It's fine. Maybe they're big. So I go. I'm watching the game. I'm trying to get out of people's way. I see a couple of the parents of the kids in the stands, so I go sit with them while the other games are going on. And so I sit down, and I realize the team in front of us is the team we're about to play. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, these kids are pretty big. They're big for middle school. Kid stands up with a backpack on, some beats on. He stands up, and I realized that the kid that told me he was 6'7" wasn't exaggerating. This kid looked like a NBA player when he stood up. Other than the fact that he needed to put some meat on his bones, this kid was huge. And who else stands right beside him but his brother, the twin? They call him the Twin Towers. These kids, after the game, so the coach and I were like, all right, maybe they're just big. We got to look at them during warm-ups to see how bad this game's going to be. And I can see where our kids were a little intimidated. They're big boys. Middle school is a tough time. It's tough to be seeing those players and not be intimidated. But so we're sitting there and we're like, all right, let's give these kids a pep talk. Let's get them up. Let's get them ready. And while warm-ups are going on, we both turned around to see if they were actually good or if they were just super tall. These kids, guys, no lie, grabbed the ball, did 2 little quick moves, and dunked on the goal. Both of them. Sitting there straight up dunking. They were putting on a clinic on a warm-up. And then they go out and shoot threes like it's nothing. Who are we playing here? What kind of shenanigans are we playing? I need to see some birth certificates. I need to get some issues. Like, we need to, come on, refs. We need to get some, we need to see some medical records here. Because that's some shenanigans. Needless to say, 3 minutes into the game, it was like 20-something to nothing. All we wanted our kids to do, and then what we were trying to prove to them, is to never give up. The fact is, in sports, and you guys might know it, there's always going to be an underdog one way or another. And it's about the fight and the dog more than his bark that's going to get him in a lot of places. And at halftime, we knew we weren't going to win. But you know what? We told them it's a new ball game. Think of it 0-0. Win this half off. Now, I think it was actually really close for the second half. The game wasn't close at all, but the second half score was. Um, some kids came up, some kids stepped up and played, some kids didn't. And I can understand it's tough, but basically, if anybody's watching from that, we're really proud of them. And they worked their butts off that weekend to make our school proud of them. The principal was nice enough to come down. The athletic director of our school came down. It was a lot of fun, and to see these kids work together, I can't wait that the actual team gets together, the actual tryouts, the actual practices come together, and we can really see what's going on with our team. A lot of big things going on. Hope to repeat, but we'll get to that when it gets to that. As far as school goes, it's been a tough year. Transitions every year is tough. Get to know the students, make the connections with the students, and I'm having a lot of fun though. You guys know I teach pre-algebra. It's an 8th grade standard. I love it. Every year's tough transition. I teach pre-algebra with 8th grade standard. I also teach intensive, which is basically students from 6th to 8th grade that need remedial math that basically builds on the foundations. And I love it because it's a instant gratification whether they know the stuff or not, and it's just getting them to see that they can do stuff, the harder stuff, by building on the easier stuff is awesome to see. It's very rewarding to be a teacher. I love it. Wouldn't trade it in for a world. As far as gaming goes, rough day today, boys. Been trying to get some content on Call of Duty. Been trying to do the Blitz stuff on Madden. But your boys, we're going to get through it. But I'm sorry to give you guys a little bit of a clickbait title. Your boy's not doing anything shocking. But I just want to appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to see what's going on, checking the videos out. I promise I'll be a little bit better consistency when it comes through. But that being said, the in-laws just pulled up. Got to be a nice, got to be the nice host of the house that they're staying at, Casa de SAG, But that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll let the outro take it here. I'll see you guys next time.